different kind of TU9 universities. I think they why they are called TU9, what are they constituted of, and why they have so much of importance. So I'm going to touch a bit about these universities, followed by what are the English taught programs at TU9, because there's a lot of confusion around what kind of programs you can do, what kind of subjects you could study at TU9. Largely, people talk about only engineering programs, but then there's a lot of different verticals. There are a lot of different streams which you could as well pursue in English language at TU9 universities. In total, there are around 170 English taught master's program, which is being currently offered at TU9 at various TU9 universities. If you stay till the end, you will get a guide from us where you will have the list of all these English taught masters program, which you can then put to your good use in finding the right program for your career, and then possibly making an application. We will share a bit about the application procedure, what how the applications for TU9 is being made, and what are the steps which you need to keep in mind while you make an application, and what kind of profile you should ideally have, where your chances are really good to get into these universities. Followed by, we will have a fireside chat with Professor Dr. George Hitte. He is a professor chair from Technical University, Dresden, and he represents Masters in Traffic and Transportation Sciences program. He's going to talk a bit about that program as well as about TU Dresden, which is one of the leading TU9 universities in Germany. And as well, we will touch upon life in Dresden in general. You will have a session to ask direct questions from Professor Hete. Whatever questions you have, probably you could note it down. And while we go through to the sessions, and when you've been prompted to ask questions, you can definitely put these questions to the professors directly. And in the end, we will also have some live interaction. You can, feel free to talk to me directly as well regarding whatever queries and questions you would have. Moving on. So, what are TU9 universities? Basically, TU9 universities are the group of technical universities which have come together, and they are like IITs of India. They are institute of importance, government funded. A lot of money comes from the government. They are research oriented, and they are involved into cutting edge research, and that is why they have quite high ranking across uh, various universities or technical universities in Germany and in Europe, because of the tag of Institute of Importance and getting a lot of funding from the government. You can simply equate them as IITs of India. That's what TU9 universities are. Just for you to have a very simple understanding why one should look at applying to TU9. It's the same as you look at applying to IITs in India. It's only the difference is competition and getting into these universities. Yeah, I just said the IITs of Germany, clearly mentioned. Only thing is, in India, you need to go through with the JEE, mains and advanced and different kind of entrance. At at TU9, there are no entrance exam, but then the criteria of getting into these programs which are offered in English language, due to the limitation of the seats available, uh, it entirely depends on your quality of documents and your grades from your previous degrees. This is where it really plays an important role. Although there are no entrance exams, but then whatever you have achieved so far academically and professionally is come is counted while you apply to these universities. The top nine TU9 top nine universities are RWTH Aachen, Technical University of Berlin, TU Braunschweig, Technical University of Darmstadt, Technical University of Dresden, Leibniz University Hanover, Karlsruhe Institute of Technology, Technical University of Munich, University of Stuttgart. Most of these universities, so I will tell you the most famous one, just for your understanding, where we actually get a lot of inquiries and where there are a lot of students who are looking forward to join to these universities. It's RWTH Aachen, TU Berlin, TU Dresden, Karlsruhe Institute of Technology, and TU Munich. Out of these nine, 5 of these are pretty famous because of uh, the broad range of English taught master's program available at these universities. Technical University of Braunschweig, Technical University of Darmstadt, University of Stuttgart, Leibniz University, Hanover. They have a very limited number of English taught master's program which are available, but also the programs which are being accepted by widely by international students. So they probably would have a program in agriculture or geology or something in hydroscience in English language, but then it is not common for everybody to pursue these kind of programs. The most common programs are offered by these top 5 universities, which I have just named: RWTH Aachen, TU Berlin, the Technical University of Dresden, TU Munich, and Karlsruhe Institute of Technology. So just for you to keep in mind. Yeah. So English taught program. I'm going to touch through some of the famous, most accepted English taught programs available across these TU9 universities, just for your quick understanding. Where if you have already seen or not seen the kind of availability of the programs, this presentation will give you an idea. At RWTH Aachen, these are the top programs available in English language which you could currently pursue. Management and engineering in structural engineering and risk management of industrial facilities. Name sounds really big and huge, but I think it's basically an engineering management and engineering program. Second is transport engineering and mobility, specialization in railway systems. And then we have data science, we have robotic systems engineering, we have automotive engineering, and we have production system engineering, which has been now changed to network systems engineering. RWTH Aachen, although it's a public university, it's a TU9 university, but it has its it it has a mandate and it has its arm, which now gives its right to charge tuition fee to students. A lot of universities, public universities in Germany these days, are being mandated to charge fees from non-EU students. So while you select your program, it should not come to you as a surprise that why it's a public university and why it is charging a fees, because they've just been mandated by the government that they are allowed to charge nominal fees from international students, especially non-EU students. So a lot of these programs which you would find at RWTH Aachen, you would see that although the program is top class, the content is excellent, but now you got to pay tuition fees of anything between 25 to 30,000 euros for a 2-year program at RWTH Aachen. So you can make your choice accordingly. TU Berlin also has good programs like computer science and energy management, sustainable mobility management, global production engineering, solar technology. Again, the global production engineering in manufacturing is the most sought after program at TU Berlin. And it is not free. You pay around 18,000 euros to get into this global production engineering program. Similarly, all these MBA programs, they've been charged tuition fees at TU Berlin. The computer science program is the only one where you do not pay a tuition fee, and you get to study for free at TU Berlin. Likewise, there are more programs which are on tuition fee basis, but then there are as well programs which are non-tuition fee basis. Depends on what you want to study, but the more the program is famous at the TU9, you can expect a tuition fees these days to be paid at these universities, because we send them so many applications that these programs become so famous that the Senate decides that okay, now we can charge tuition fees. TU Braunschweig offers only two English taught master's program. One of it I have already listed here, which is computational sciences and engineering. Again, a good university, a good TU9, but not so famous among the students who are looking to study English taught masters because of its limitations and availability of the programs. TU Darmstadt, again, so Darmstadt is around 50 kilometers from the main town Frankfurt. So that's why, because of its proximity to Frankfurt, it becomes an important town, and technical university stands to win and gain lot from Frankfurt as a town, as well as the proximity to the industrial and financial hub of Germany. And that is why they have some great programs. I've listed some engineering programs here, but then Technical University Darmstadt offers a lot of interesting English taught master's programs. You will find these names in the list, which we will share with you a little later. Just type in if so far the information which has been shared is valuable to you, you finding it interesting enough so far, or you want to hear something else, just want to know in between what do you think the flow of this masterclass so far, if it is getting informative for you, or it's something which you already know about, and you want to jump into question and answer or something of that sort. Just type yes or no. Okay. Yes, Yamini, there would be some courses available in commerce background as well. We will share that with you a little later. There are some programs in commerce related background. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Moving on. Uh, yes, TU Munich has a program in aerospace engineering, Arun, and FH Aachen also has a program in aerospace engineering. I can share the details later with you if you want to know about aerospace. Pharmaceutical courses, Tejal, available, and I will share the list with you very soon. There are programs at TU9 with pharmaceutical courses as well, or there are public universities offering pharmaceutical courses. Yes, biology and environmental science courses, Abhishek, available. These courses are available at TU9. You will find these in the list which I will share. Yes, food science courses available as well, Ravleen. All right, moving on. Now, TU Dresden, Technical University Dresden, I think we will have the professor's privilege to talk more about TU Dresden and its various programs. But I think TU Dresden is among the few TU9 offering wider range of English taught master's program. I think number one is TU Munich. TU Munich has a lot of English taught master's program, followed by TU Dresden, which is around 16 English taught master's program, and in a very, very different and wide fields, which you would see in the list or the link which we will share about Technical University Dresden. This advanced computational and civil engineering structural studies, it's for civil engineers, one of the nicest program available at TU Dresden in English language. You have molecular bioengineering, you have nanoelectronic systems, so people from the physics background can actually apply to this nanoelectronic systems. Computational modeling and simulation, hydrosciences and engineering. This is a unique, not many universities in Germany offering this hydroscience and engineering program. So people who are, who are into exploration, who are into research, who are into waste management, who are into finding water resources across different geographies can do this hydroscience and engineering program, because it also leads you to do a PhD program, which is like totally free. And programs at TU Dresden so far are totally free. You do not pay any tuition fee for studying at TU Dresden universities. And the last one which we have mentioned here is master's program in transportation economics. This transportation economics programs is gaining relevance, especially in these times where people are talking about mobility, urban mobility, e-mobility, hybrid mobility, and how to organize transportation in this ever-changing technological world. So this program is unique in its own way, because it not only tells you about the technologies involved, but it also talks about the economics of transportation. I think which something which we here in India do not find it very common to have this kind of a program. But in Europe and in US, this program has gained a lot of importance because of the urbanization which these countries has seen vis-a-vis to India. And now this program is also slowly and slowly coming up in India. So for people who are from economics background, people from commerce background, or people from engineering background with a little bit of commerce or management as topics during your graduation are the perfect fit to apply for this master's program in transportation economics. The applications have just started and it will last until 15th of May, and you apply via Uni Assist platform for this transportation economics program. They are very limited seats. There are only 30 seats available for this program, entirely in English, and it will be offered to students on a first come first serve basis. Of course, if you qualify to study this program. More on this program will be shared by Professor Hete in very shortly. Okay. Now we have Leibniz University, Hanover, another TU9. There are some interesting programs as well: International Horticulture, Computational Methods and Engineering, Financial Engineering, Economics and Management, Water Resources and Environmental Management, Mathematics, and International Mechatronics. All are in English. All are English taught programs. Karlsruhe Institute of Technology, Information System Engineering, Energy and Management, Mobility Systems, and Production and Operations Management. Karlsruhe Institute of Technology has started a Hector School of Management and Technology, which in turn charges tuition fees to non-EU students. And most of their programs, which were cutting edge, has now been transferred to this Hector School of Technology and Management, where they can charge tuition fees. So you can decide accordingly which program you would like to apply, and if it is if it is in your pocket to make the fee payment for these programs. All right, as I said, Technical University of Munich has the largest collection of English taught master's program in Germany. A few of them I've listed here for your understanding. The most famous is, of course, computational mechanics, transportation system, sports and exercise science, software engineering, business and IT, MBA, MIM. So, general management program at TU Munich is the most famous. They accept more than 300 students every year for this program, followed by management and technology. The management and technology program is for freshers, and it has a very, very interesting curriculum. But it's not easy to get into because you need a combination of management and technical studies uh, in your bachelor studies if you want to study at if you want to study management and technology at TU Munich. Then we have aerospace. Somebody asked about aerospace in program. Yes, TU Munich has it, and then aerospace engineering as well. Last, University of Stuttgart. Again, they are very famous for civil engineering and related programs. You can see two or three of these programs mentioned here are related to civil engineers, computational mechanics of materials and structures, integrated urbanism and sustainable designs, electrical engineering, information technology, and mechanical engineering. Limited programs at Stuttgart in English, but then and they are pretty good, and it's part of TU9. Moving on. Right. Yeah, this is, I think, important, what probably everybody wanted to hear through standard application process, what all things you need to know about the application procedures. Now, quickly type me in a chat box who all are aware of basic requirements you need to have to apply to TU9 University. If you know, just write yes. If you don't know, just write no, so that I have an understanding of my audience whether they know about this process or not, and then accordingly I can put my next speech. Okay, 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 okay. So if I understand this right, most of you don't know about what are the requirements you should have in order to apply to TU9 universities. Let me take you through to the process one by one. General requirements apart from your bachelor's degree. In the bachelor's degree, please keep in mind minimum 2.5 CGPA as per German grading scale out of 4, which is equivalent to 70% of which is equivalent to 70% 70 percentage point as per Indian uh, grading system, or 7.0 CGPA out of 10. This is the most important requirement you would see by all of the TU9s. If you do not fall into this category of minimum 2.5, in all likelihood, your application will not be accepted. Very important point to keep in mind. Number two, do not consider your extra or other activities to supplement your shortfall in your bachelor's degree grade, because 99% of it will not be supplemented. German universities are, or especially the TU9s or public universities, are very strict in terms of you meeting the minimum criteria as stated in the application procedure. In most of the cases, it is 2.5 as per German grading scale out of 4, or 70% on Indian grading scale. This is important to keep. Number two, which you should keep in mind, is the continuity of your studies from bachelor's leading to master's. This is another important aspect which you all should keep in mind, which most of the TU9 universities look when they check your application for admission. For example, a mechanical engineer bachelor's graduate in all likelihood should follow something which is related to mechanical engineering masters. It could be process engineering, it could be systems engineering, it could be combination of engineering which you talk about, could be design engineering, but it has to has a complement from your bachelor's degree. If this continuation of degree is not met, then in all likelihood your application would be rejected, because this is important to keep in mind, that you follow through your bachelor's with a relevant master's degree. Please keep this in mind. This is very important. Number three, which you need to keep in mind as well, sometimes when you see that your overall grades were okay, everything was in line, still you didn't got an admit. The reason here you would find is that whatever the subjects they wanted you to study in bachelor's, the minimum amount of subjects are not met. They have a requirement of particularly, let's say, 10 ECTS points in a particular subject, in mathematics, in engineering, in IT, or management. They put certain points. So while you evaluate your chances to make applications to these TU9 universities, please go through their application procedure very carefully with respect to the subjects they are asking you to fulfill. If you do not fulfill those subjects in your bachelor's level, then you have two choices. Either they provide you some sort of pre-course or an extension which you could take so that you fulfill those minimum missing credits. If not, then in all likelihood your application would be rejected, regardless, even if you are meeting the 2.5 or above grade criteria. But if you do not match the subject matter criteria, and 60 to 70% of your chances, the application will be rejected. So these are the three important criteria which you all should keep in mind while you approach your applications for TU9. Your grade, your 2.5 German grading scale, your continuity from bachelor's to master's studies, and your subject matter subjects matching requirements. If you match all these three, the rest of all the other topics would definitely fall in line, be it an IELTS with 6.5 or GMAT with 650. TUM asks for 600 minimum, but it's not a criteria. They want to have it just for filtration. Same as with TOEFL, GRE, and GATE. If you have these exams, I think they really adds to your profile. IELTS or TOEFL is a mandatory requirement. GMAT, GRE is not a mandatory requirement, but in certain cases they do ask. The top universities where the programs is highly sought after, they would ask you to submit GMAT or GRE as well. And some students also get through to TU9s using a gate score. So these are additional test requirements which you should keep in mind, or you should have it while you are preparing to apply to TU9s. Okay, the additional topics which you could keep in mind, which a lot of universities like to see in profile, is if you have done any research paper or published into any international journals. So research papers, publications are important. They show your knowledge, your depth about your knowledge, your skill, your depth in a particular subject which you have studied, and what are your thoughts. That is why they want to see that you have published some paper, because TU9s or research universities are all about doing research, writing thesis, publishing papers. And if you can prove it to the admission committee that you have it in you, writing about these research papers, publications, then I think your profile stands out. What is also important for you, if you are in your second, third year right now, or about to complete, you should have some internships while you were studying. This is again another very important aspect which a lot of TU9 universities looks at applicants, that whatever you have studied, we have also applied by going and working in industry. If you have internships missing, more often than not, then your profile falls flat, regardless if you have all the other criterias are meeting. They want to see you that you have done some industry work while you were graduating from your bachelor's degree. So research paper and publishing in international journals, some internships, these are important aspects of your profile, along with IELTS, GRE, TOEFL, GMAT, depending on what programs you are applying. And then the first three topics which I talked about with respect to your grading and profiles. If you are able to tick mark all these, I think you have a winning profile in your hand. And if you tick mark 90% of all of these, you would have a fair chance to get into any of these TU9 universities of your choice. Not to forget that your letter of motivation also plays a very important role. How you structure your letter of motivation, what inspires you to come to this particular program, what inspires you to come to this particular university, why you want to come to Germany, what have you done in your past, in your studies, or in your extracurricular activities, which has propelled you now to apply to this particular program in Germany. So accordingly, you structure your SOP, which also plays a major role in your application procedures. Okay, this is about standard application process. Now we have to welcome our guest. I just have to see if he is there. Okay, we have 10 minutes before he joins in. Okay. Oh, I see Professor Hirte here already in. We still have 10 minutes, but if you are there and ready, Professor Hilse, then we can continue. Or we can have a short introduction as well, and then we can move ahead. All right, so I think we have a few Professor Hilse with us who has already joined in. But we have another, I'll take a few questions from the students before I formally introduce Professor Hitte as well. And then we can move ahead with the presentation on TU Dresden and the master's program. Yeah. So please put in your questions in the chat box, what you would like to know. I give you 4 minutes right now to ask before I formally welcome Professor Hitte, and then we continue with our next part of our masterclass today. Feel free to ask whatever you would like to know about TU9 universities. Okay, good. I see there are no questions, which is good. Chinmay, job experience instead of internship is allowed. Since most of these programs at TU9 are consecutive masters, Chinmay. They would they are okay if you have a job experience, but it is not mandatory. The mandatory parts are the internships while you were doing your graduation. Job experience is okay, could be looked at relevant, if it's relevant, could be looked at, but then it is not considered in the application procedure. 3 years bachelor's is accepted, meet, no problem. Minimum 180 ECTS credit is what is required. If you meet that, I think it is okay. There are, yes, do they provide masters in economics? I mean, yes, there's a masters of economics program as well uh, at few of the TU9s. Do we need to learn German? Yes, please learn German up to A2 level. Most of the universities, especially the TU9s, sometimes ask you to submit a A2 level of German proficiency. So yes, it is needed that you learn German while you are making an application to TU9s. There are many universities who does not have this requirement, but if you are applying for TU9, I think you should have some German language with you. There is at RWTH Aachen, there is a course on vehicle engineering and transport system engineering, which I have touched briefly. I can share more information with you, Hemant, a while from now. Can I pursue my MS and ISCM after bachelor's in management study? Please, Meet, can you be more? I do not understand ISCM. If you can be more elaborate on this. Chemical engineering with 69% in my BTech. Yes, you are right at the border. Please score, try to touch it to 70%, and you would be fine. More, some of the other public universities in Germany would consider your score with 69%. Yes, Abhishek, you are eligible to do a second master's in Germany with 7.5 CGPA. It should not be a problem. But what is your score at bachelor's level is most important, because many of these master's degrees in Germany, they rely on your bachelor's degree score, not on your master's degree score. So if you have a better score in your graduation, then I think you have no problem to pursue a second master. Okay, I think now it's time to call our guest, and then we can continue with your question and answers. Moving ahead, there would be a lot of questions which will be answered by Professor Hete, and then we will move ahead with the next session. So, Professor Dr. George Hitte is from TU9. Welcome, Professor. Thank you so much for taking a time out again today on a Friday afternoon and joining us live from Dresden. The audience is here and awaiting and looking forward to hear to your presentation on master's program in transportation economics and about TU Dresden as well. So we welcome you once again.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a great pleasure to be here and tell you something about our Master in Transportation Economics program. So it's now my turn, Sumit, or?
Yes, please go ahead. You can, I'll stop my screen share and you can share your screen. Nice. Yeah.
Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm talking about the master program in transportation economics. We start with this English program this term, this autumn. And why is that we are doing that? The reasons are that we have a lot of challenges concerning mobility. It's first the technological development, you know, something about electric, autonomous vehicles, a lot on networks, on sharing platforms, on drones, and the whole automation process. And further, we have a lot of new business models like sharing platforms, the idea of mobility as a service, or many of the logistics problems. And third, we have a lot of new data. In particular, we have an increasing availability of huge amount of diverse data from transport, from cars, from all kinds of things that we do in transport. And fourth, we have a lot of challenges concerning society. The one is that we want to have mobility for everybody. We want to think about sustainability and environmental issues, pollution, accidents, and the role of transport for the economy. And finally, we have to think about policy interventions concerning transport. All these are challenges we face, and we face with different intensity in different countries or in the future. And we offer you most of the things you need, or the qualifications or methods and tools you need to work on all these challenges. Our course is very scientific oriented, so you would learn a lot on scientific methods and tools required to understand and solve many of these challenges. And in addition, you have the opportunity to get some soft skills that you need to work successful and build up your careers in firms or institutions that are working mainly with these transport issues. So that's the idea. We have a similar program until today in German, and some of the courses have been given in English. Now we want to switch to a total English program, in particular also to open this program to international students. And that's the reason why I'm here. The program itself, it's a standard German 2-year program. Master program, 2 years means 4 terms. And it is a scientific oriented master. So the degree in the end is a Master of Science. We expect about 30 students. It is taught in English. The tuition fees, in Germany is very low. You have to pay about 300 euro per term. And in Dresden, in particular, this includes the access to public transport. The access to public transport is free. This is included in this tuition fee. Okay, this program is accredited in the German program, and the courses, you have to be at least 1 year at TU Dresden, as I will tell you in a minute. You can see here more on if you use this link at TU Dresden, Study Information System, Master Transportation Economics, and I'm the Dean of Study for Transportation Economics. The structure of the program is the following. We have 4 terms. The first term you have most obligatory modules. This is statistics. It is some kind of computational logistics. You learn something about economic theory, on econometrics and data analytics. These are methods you need in the following. In addition, you can choose another additional module, for instance, traffic modeling or some business courses or some economic courses. The second term, you can specialize. You can choose 2 of our 5 specializations. I will tell you in a minute, and also choose additional modules from business, from economics, from engineering, and other fields at the university. And the third and fourth term, this is the second year, then there's in that year, you don't have to be at TU Dresden. The idea is that in the third term, you can go away, abroad, for instance, to India, another country, another university, and there you can acquire additional modules from that university, or you can, instead of going to a university, make an internship at a firm in Germany or abroad. And in addition, you have to write a research task during that term. And this research task is based on your specialization, and that research task can be written at any place in the world. We can communicate online. It's not any problem. And fourth term is then used for the master thesis, and the research task and the master thesis usually are more or less on the same topics. So you can here train to write a scientific work on that. If you want to write a PhD later on, you can base it on this scientific work you did in that master. And the specialization fields, you can choose computational logistics. There it is focused on operations research and linear programming. The idea is to solve problems of logistics and logistic management and public transport. The second field is transportation policy. There we use microeconomic theory to evaluate and develop policy intervention in transport. This also includes cost-benefit analysis, regulation and transport taxes, and how to solve some societal problems concerning transport. The third topic is spatial and environmental economics. There we apply microeconomics, econometrics, and some economic simulation models to study the link between transport, the environment, and our spatial structure. The fourth then is statistics, which is focusing on multivariate statistics and data-driven statistics, with the idea to use, in the end, data to study transport-related problems. And the fifth is then data analytic in transport. It is also focusing on the analysis of data, but this is more computational oriented and more informatic related. So we have two courses here on, I would say, data science. One is on logistics and two are on economics. And two of them you have to choose so that you can specialize in that field according to your preferences. So that's the program, very short glimpse of the program. And to get access, you have to apply. And for that, you need a graduation, a bachelor in one of the fields, economics, business administration, statistics, transport science, or one of these so-called MINT fields, mathematics, information, technology, natural science, or technology or engineering. For application, you need at least 80% of your current program because the application has to be done now in the next months. We require good English knowledge. It's only a B2+, not A+. It is IELTS 5.5 or TOEFL 80. And third, you need 60 credits in total from the following fields: economics, business administration, and quantitative methods, which is about 2 years of a bachelor program. And you can see the exact way to get these 60 credits on the website. You will need at least 10 credits in economics, 5 in business administration, and 15 in quantitative methods like mathematics, econometrics, statistics, and so on. The application procedure itself is occurring via UniAssist. And in addition, you have to send a printout form of the application form to UniAssist. The deadline is the end of May 21. And then you receive a decision letter in the mid of August. We need some time because there's some controlling of the application forms you send us. Okay. Then I had a question concerning the labor market. There's a strong demand on labor markets for several years now, with an initial salary between 40 and 55,000 euros. Our students work in all kinds of firms that have, or institutions that are related to transport, public institutions, ministries, research institutes, railway firms, car producers, airports like Fraport in Frankfurt, in many logistic firms, in fields that are not directly linked to transport, in services, IT systems, energy firms, or in consulting firms, because the skills you acquire in that master also helps you to get access to firms outside of the transport sector. Our students work as economists, as senior researchers, even as professors, as business executives, consultants in many firms, and also as data scientists, also in many firms. So I think no of our students has to look more than 1 or 2 months after his finishing his degree for a job. The market is even now in the Corona time very, very good in Germany and also abroad for this kind of qualification. Okay, to the end, we are looking for you, in particular if you are determined to master the quantitative and economic methods that are needed to understand and solve transport-related issues for firms and the society. If you are open-minded and able to work independently, because the German university system requires that you do a lot of work by your own. You must be good self-structured and have a lot of energy or to be determined to be successful. And of course, if you're interested in working in a team of international students, because many of our courses rely on projects, so where you work in teams with other students. So therefore, it is important that you are willing to communicate and work together with others. Okay, so much for the program at the moment.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Professor Hete, for giving us an excellent overview about this master's program in transportation economics. I will now open a short question and answer session with you. It's a fireside chat with Professor Hete. For a lot of you students who are there, it would be interesting for you to know about various topics related to study at TU Dresden or this particular program. So some of these questions which I'm going to ask Professor Hete would be very relevant for you. So please pay attention to what Professor Hete has to talk about. So the first question which I have on the list is, what are the current ongoing research in urban mobility at TU Dresden? Professor Hete, if you can take us through this.
Okay, I have a slide on that. And we have a lot of different research on urban transport in the Institute of Economics and Transport that hosted this program, and also at the total Department of Faculty on Traffic and Transportation Science. There are a lot of studies on the role of new technologies in urban transport, in particular on electric and autonomous driving. For instance, I'm working currently in a research project financed by the German Research Foundation on autonomous driving and transport policy. We are looking at transport policy instruments to steer these effects of autonomous driving on society. There's also another huge program on autonomous driving and sustainable transport. There's a program on traffic modeling, also hosted at our institute. It is on modeling pedestrian vehicles and modeling autonomous vehicles in traffic models. Here, Martin Treiber is working together with PhD student from IT Madras, and they also try to hire another former student from Madras for another project. Then there are some programs concerning the generation of data. At a chair on transport planning, they provide a database for 18 German cities that is annually updated. Then they also develop an open source framework to a video-based generation of transport data. Then there are some studies concerning business models, for instance, evaluation of bike sharing in Copenhagen, or organization of mobile production facilities in collaboration with the Boys and TU Dresden Graduate School with a PhD student from Iran. And then we have a lot of research concerning all these transport-related issues like noise, safety, sustainability, congestion or health. There are studies by psychological by the chair of psychological transport. It is an impact of noise on psychic health. There are studies on congestion tolls, parking fields, fuel taxes, electric vehicles in the context of an urban world where we look at the link between transport, land use, economic models, health, and so forth. This is done at my chair with urban CG models. We also teach students the same model in the master program. And there are several projects on road and pedestrian safety, where, for instance, data from GPS are used, telling you that these data science courses we offer are very important also for research at our faculty. Okay.
Excellent. So, my dear students, if you see, there is an excellent research at the moment going on in urban transport and mobility at TU Dresden. And when you read through these topics, these are such an interesting topic, which would make you think that if you have an interest in transportation, and traffic sciences, these are the topics which you should be nearer to. These are the topics you should be doing research upon. And as far as India as a country is concerned, I think there's a lot more research which is still to be done in these areas. As Professor Hete rightly said, we have a PhD student from IIT Madras who is collaborating with TU Dresden right now on one of these research which is going on. So you actually can think deeper. There is a career to be made in master's program in traffic and transportation sciences, which can lead you to go do an ongoing research in these excellent areas, and can eventually turn out an excellent career opportunity for you as well in Germany itself. So this is one of the clear paths which you could follow if you apply to this master's program. Excellent. Thank you so much, Professor, for this insight on various research activities going on at TU Dresden in urban mobility. My next question comes to you is regarding I see here, because of the research, you already talked about what all areas of research it is covering, which was actually leading to my next question with respect to the importance and scope of transportation economics program and who should attend this. So I give you where my thoughts are coming from. So in India, it's still a lot of people are unaware about this particular field. What is transportation economics? Why I should pursue it? What do I am going to get if I pursue this transportation economics program? Where does it leads me to? So you have given answers to a few of these thoughts in the presentation, but if you can just structure it, that this is the person who should look for it. What is the scope? What is all it's going to be covered in this transportation economics or urban transport in general, and how it is beneficial for a student to look at?
Okay, the first point is that you may be familiar with transport problems, yeah? And usually may think about engineering. But economics and transport is a very important link, first because all economic activity needs some kind of transport, so there's a link. Second, it is costly, so there are costs for the firm and for people, and this is a typical economic problem to handle these costs and to reduce costs, and then you have decision problems concerning the optimal decision on logistics, on transport. This is usually also an economic way of thinking about optimal decisions on logistics, on transport. And fourth, there is the idea of the society. It affects society. One is it affects the spatial organization of society, the spatial organization of firms, of the labor markets. It also has to do with the government. The government makes regulations and it also changes prices, for instance, fuel taxes. And this also are costs, so it is an economic problem. Yeah, how you can deal with this costs and how can the government use this economic instruments to help to change the transport system or improve the transport system. And finally, it's about infrastructure investment, which is also typically economic problem. So there is a close link between transport and economics, and that's the idea of our master program, to make this link clear and to use all methods from transport modeling, from economics, from business logistics, and from data science to work on this link between economics and transport. And the second, who should attend it? I think it's interesting for people who have basic skills in engineering, in economics, in business, or in data science, and they want to look in a field that will become more and more important in the future on account of technological developments. And that is also currently a problem in many countries. I think in India, in many cities, you have a huge transport problem. And so if you want to work on these problems in a way of economic thinking, then I think it's a very good idea to go for this master. For instance, one of the students asked whether they can apply for master in logistics and supply chain management. We have a specialization in logistics and computational logistics. And additional, you can choose about 30 points, 30 credits in additional courses in logistics from the economic faculty or business faculty. So it's possible to focus on this logistic and supply chain management issues, and in addition, add a course like a course in data analytics, which provides you also with methods you can use in logistics. So if you are interested in a more quantitative way to look at these problems, then the master transportation economics, I think, is very, very, very good.
Excellent. So, dear students, you actually can, look forward to starting some kind of revolution here in India in terms of solving transportation issues which we have in our major cities. And as I am 100% sure, not much is happening in terms of research and policy intervention with respect to how we can make our transportation system more effective, because there is a clear missing link between transportation economics, data science, and all the topics which professor just spoke about, which is coming to you in this program and actually can lead you to a professional in this area in few years from now if you take a right step today. Thank you for this wonderful answer, Professor Hete.
And maybe one point I can make concerning transport economics. If you think about China, China invested a lot in transport in the last 10 years or 2 decades. And they didn't have people who studied transport economics, but they did send these people into the world to study transport economics, logistics, and all these economic related fields. And these people are now very important in these huge programs that they have in China. So I think India is also going to invest, it must invest a lot in transport. And then you need people who are able to say something about how to finance investment, where to make investment decision, and to think what we can do with this, these scarce resources in transport. So I think this will become a more important field in public or in policy, but it will also become, is a very important field for firms. Yeah, if you look at transport firms, harbors, airports, these need people who have an idea of the importance of transportation for the economy, and on instruments how to use business or economics to improve the performance of the firms.
Yeah, excellent. Professor Hete, my another question would lie upon with the current pandemic situation. Since our borders are still now looking closed with respect to announced lockdown in various cities in our own country, and as well as Germany is still under lockdown, whether this program will be offered in an online mode, or it will only be offered physically in October if situation does not favor, for example.
Okay, we already had the situation that some students from other countries couldn't come last term, and we offered the courses, all courses online. The next winter, I think the situation is a little bit different because at least the European students can be here in presence. So I think some of the courses will be offered live at the university. But at least these obligatory courses we have, which is about 25 from 30 points in credits in the first term, that these are also offered online. Yeah, we have also already videos and videos for the seminars. So we know about this issue, and we are, in any case, you can be sure that we offer you the possibility of the opportunity to study all what you need in online.
Right.
We cannot say it for sure for all additional courses, but there's at least a selection of additional courses you can also study online.
So if the student is, for whatever reasons, not able to reach Dresden in October when the program starts,
Yes.
can he start online already, from India?
Yes.
He can, because there are
Yeah.
visas issues as well in between, which will come.
Yes.
So we have to take care of that. That's right.
Okay, for the obligatory course, we offer videos for all lectures, for instance, and we have some seminars where we have also videos. So it is possible to start online or to stick to online course the whole term. Yeah.
Perfect.
But this in the end must require that you talk to the lecturer or professors to if you are not able to come.
Yeah. Okay.
We will find a solution in any way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, this is helpful because as we see the current situation with respect to the visas and the VFS situation here in India, it's not that happy moment,
Yeah.
I would say. So there would be possibly a lag in terms of students getting the visa after they get an admission from, let's say, from TU
Yes.
Dresden by end of August. There is at least, as of now, there is already around 4 months of waiting period to get a time for appointment for the visa. And if things does not improve, then this is going to go further. So that is why
Yeah.
my question was that whether a student can still start online classes, because visa is something which is not in student hand. It's all government thing. So good that you calm them with that they can start online, and they could have even a term online in case they're not able to make it to Dresden on time. So this is a very important information for all of you students, that you can actually start without worrying about the visas and the admission coming on time. Excellent. Okay.
And that's my recommendation. You shall ask people. Yeah? So if you have a problem and you know you cannot come right in time, then you shall ask the people that are responsible for the courses you want to attend.
Right.
And usually we will find a solution.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So if you don't ask, we don't know about your problem, and then it's hard to do anything for you.
Understand. Completely agree. Yes. Okay, so I think my major questions have already been addressed, Professor Hete. I'm opening the panel for Q&A by the students. Students, please start putting your questions in the chat. Professor is still with us for the next 10-15 minutes. Whatever questions you would like to ask directly with the professor, please start putting in the chat. I will take it up, and Professor Hete and myself, we try our best to answer whatever you would like to know. Okay. You can put questions related to traffic and transportation economics, the research, the urban mobility. We already talked about all these things so that you get more and broader information what these programs are all about, and we would be happy to answer that. So there's one question which is better, doing MS in English or doing MS in German? Professor Ed, you would have to take this one because you are in
Okay.
Germany. You would
In that
evaluate.
case, our program, we switch from the German to the English program.
Yeah.
And I think it's really useful because many of the firms are also ask for English speaking students. And we want also to qualify students to go abroad. And I think therefore it's really important to have an English master.
English master is better.
But nonetheless, if you're in German, it is useful to learn German because that's easier to get access to people from here. And also if you want to work later on in Germany, it's, I think, required to have some idea of German. We don't require German for the master program, but it's useful if you learn German.
All right.
And in particular, you can then, if you have a good knowledge of German, you can also go to courses that are offered in German at our university. So you have a huge, more broader selection of courses.
Excellent.
Okay.
Okay. So there is one question from Aryan. He says that he has completed his mechanical engineering with 8.5 CGPA and one paper publication and 2 internships done. Does he become an ideal candidate, Professor Hete, to apply to our transportation economics program with 8.5 CGPA?
Yes, I think. Also, I
Aryan?
think that's a good degree, and of course, I think the chances are very good.
Aryan, you should think through applying to master's program in transportation economics. Professor said that you have a bright chance with respect to what you have done so far. So yes, you have a good possibility to come to Dresden. Okay. More questions? Okay. Okay, what is your question? Yes, there are limited programs available in summer.
I think that's not a question for me. Huh?
No, there's just a putting up as a statement what is available.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I think since there are not many questions now, I would ask one final question from Professor, and then we will say thank you, and we will continue with our general discussion. Professor Hitte, can you advise or can you give us some tips about writing an effective master thesis? If you can share some of the topics which a student should keep in mind when he or she writes the master thesis.
Oh. In our course, it's so you are trained to do so. Yeah, you write project thesis over the first year. In the second year, you start with a research thesis, and then you write your master thesis. And the project thesis you write together with other students. The research thesis you write alone, and the master thesis you write also alone. So you are trained to improve your writing skills, your skills to do some kind of scientific research, so that you in the end are able to do so. So we expect that you have a good research question and you apply the methods you learn in your study field. In our case, it's data science, econometrics, economic theory, or logistics to use in the master thesis. Yeah, you will get a problem, a research question that you can answer with the help of these methods. yeah, that's the point.
Okay. All right. So I would say if there are no more questions, thank you so much, Professor Hite, for your time. Friday afternoon. I think it was very informative. This time around, we learned quite more about urban mobility and the research, and why one should look forward to this master's program in transportation economics, and what value this program could bring in person's life, and how it could be useful to make them a better employer or employee going ahead in his or her career. So thank you so much. I think it was lovely to have you with us this afternoon, Professor. Your closing statement, and then we can say goodbye.
Okay, yeah, it's a great pleasure to speak to you, and I hope you are interested. Maybe you can tell it to colleagues that are interesting. For instance, I have currently a PhD student from India who is a traffic engineer, and he's now interested in transportation economics. He's working on the ports in India and making some kind of efficiency analysis, which is a typical economic issue. So he understands that transport economics is important. And so I hope some of you will think about that in a similar way, to know that economic business issues are also important concerning transport, and you can bring together transport traffic engineering with economic and business thinking. That's the idea. And if you're interested, please apply. We are looking forward to you. Okay, to see you in autumn.
Perfect. Thank you so
Okay,
much,
thank you so much.
Professor Edes. Thank you so much, and have a great weekend ahead. And we look forward to see you in our next session very soon. Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, bye-bye.
Thank you. Soon you can say bye-bye to Professor Hete, and then we let him go.
Okay.
Bye, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we have an open session once again regarding whatever question and answers students would have. Please start putting in, and we will have another 10 minutes to answer all your question and answers with respect to your queries to study in Germany. Feel free to ask me. I'm very happy to answer for the next 10 minutes. So there's a question from Sachin, says, is there an automotive engineering course? Yes, quite many automotive engineering courses available in Germany at TU9 or at public universities, Sachin. All right, so Yamini, to do a master's in management and economics or general management, if you are looking to enter into a top university like the University of Mannheim or TU Munich, they would possibly ask you for a GRE or GMAT score. If you are looking for a normal university, they do not ask for a GMAT score for management program. But in all likelihood, if you want to enter into a good program in Germany, public or private, in the top 10 or 15, my recommendation is please do a GMAT or GRE exam. You have programs available without GRE and GMAT as well, but then the recommendation goes that in order to gain maximum knowledge and a brand value, please write GMAT or GRE. Are private universities any lesser than public? No, not at all. The private universities, in fact, as well, are involved into cutting edge research and advancement. And a lot of good private universities like ESMT, Frankfurt School, HHL Leipzig, and of the same likes, few others like SRH, ISM, Munich Business School, they are doing good work in management related topics, and they are no lesser than public universities. In fact, if you go at Frankfurt School or ESMT, I think you are standing at a very higher chance of getting into a job market with these universities. Of course, at private universities, you do pay tuition fees, which is in comparison quite a lot when you talk about public universities. But like earlier, as I said, even public universities of the likes of RWTH Aachen or TU Berlin or Karlsruhe Institute of Technology have also started to charge tuition fees. So you are now at par, and they are at par with private universities to charge tuition fees. So when you're talking about the best learning and knowledge from Germany, you might as well end up paying a tuition fees. Yes, you can pursue MS in logistics and supply chain management after your bachelor studies. Not at all a problem. You can definitely do that. The best logistics university in Germany in supply chain is Kuhn Logistic University in Hamburg. And you should definitely look at this university to make an application because they are the best in supply chain management. Is it possible to pursue MS in polymer engineering after doing BTech in chemical? Absolutely. Yes, you can do a polymer engineering master's after doing a chemical engineering bachelor's. Not a problem. Meet the university name is Kuhn Logistic University, KLU Hamburg. You can search online as well. It's a private university, but they do excellent uh, work in supply chain. So many public universities have just started their application process in April. Few would be starting mid of April, few starts only in May, and the application window is between 30 to 45 days. If you are looking to apply for a winter intake, when the applications are only opening now, that's the time when you can apply. So it's not late. You can apply, and then by end of June, July, you would possibly get a answer on your application. Some maybe even as late as August. But the good thing you need to keep is in mind is your visa appointment date, which you actually can book right now. Okay, more questions. I'm available for next 5 more minutes. If you have any, please shoot so that I can help you through. You can always connect with us offline, and would be very happy to take you individually on one-on-one uh, advice and consulting which you have in mind. Yes, non-EU students. No, you are allowed to apply for winter and summer as well. No issues that you can't. Being non-EU, you cannot apply to summer. You can. It's only there are limitations in programs offering in summer intake. Otherwise, you can apply. It's no problem. Meet complete up to A2 level would be good. Hemant, I can share as well, but you can also do a Google online and you will get the details on RWTH Vehicle Engineering Program at Aachen. There's a transport system engineering or vehicle engineering program available at RWTH Aachen. I will also share the link with you if you can send me an email and we will share the further details. Best time to apply for summer intake is October or as and when the application opens up. It's individual university applications. But generally speaking, students should keep a time frame between 8 to 10 months before conceiving to apply, to actually apply and get an admission, get the visas, get the finance in place, and then reaching to a particular university. The time is 8 to 10 months. If you do in shorter time, you got to rush with the different steps rather soon, or you need an advisory who can guide you through step by step quickly. Perfect. I think then, since there are no more questions, okay. Okay, one last question. Okay. Would be happy to know the name of iPhone because it comes as iPhone to everyone. Who is this person? Please put in your name in the chat box so that we know. Otherwise, it feels only iPhone is asking. The agencies charges a lot of money for the applications. Okay, Arpit Singla, good. Finally got to know iPhone. Arpit, when you are applying to a public universities in Germany, there's a considerable amount of time and energy which is spent by the agencies to get you through to the programs, and also to do a due diligence of the universities. So sometimes I think it is fair that they charge an application. So basically it's not an application fee, it's a service fees which these agencies charge. And I think it is fair if you go for an advice, if you need an expert advice, you pay for it. Otherwise Google has the answers to everything, and people can simply Google it and get all the answers and do it themselves if they are cost conscious and they don't want to spend money on advice. Then of course Google is the free answer. But generally speaking, if you take good advice and an expert helping you through, then it makes sense to pay for the service fees. It is very simple that you have a problem, you go to a doctor, and but you do not want to pay a fees to a doctor because you say the doctor charges fees. But then when it becomes bad, you anyways pay for the surgery. So advisory fee is what I think is always welcome if you get a right advice, and if you feel that okay, then the information given is useful to you, then you should definitely look forward to pay. My pleasure, Arpit. Good. Thank you so much. Last minute, my closing statement. Thank you all who stayed long and participated in today's webinar. I hope it was informative for you. Got more insights about TU9 or some applications in general. For all those who have different questions and different applications or different programs which they want to learn and know, I'm putting my email ID here for your knowledge. Please send me your CV for your profile evaluation, and I will give you the honest opinion in terms of what are your chances to get into a public or a private university, or how you can improve your profile. It will be a one-on-one, and this advice will be free of cost, so that you all know where do you stand in terms of making applications to German universities in Germany. Thank you. We will be back again with the next set of webinar. It would be Germany or some country in Europe, which you all will have information about. Make sure you attend those master classes as well, because it will be more informative and it will give you more thoughts about applying to different universities, not only in Germany, but in also cost-effective countries like Poland, like Italy, like some Scandinavian countries as well. Thank you and have a great evening. Bye-bye for now.